Explore your town. Take a quick day trip. Maybe enjoy a weekend getaway. You don't have to make elaborate plans to do something. Go somewhere, do stuff. It's easy. Just get in the car and go. Wilmington, North Carolina. Situated on the eastern coast of North Carolina, bordered by the Cape Fear River and Wrightsville Beach. Wilmington is 1.5 hours from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, 2 hours from Raleigh-Durham, and 5 hours from Asheville, North Carolina. Wilmington is a historic town with a lot of individual character. It truly has a lot to offer. Come with us as we explore a few of the great things there are to do, see, and enjoy. We have actually asked a few great people for their personal views on what makes Wilmington such a great place to live or visit.
Our residents and our visitors really enjoy coming here and taking part of the urban climate, but also within a stone's throw of being able to go to the beaches as well.
We are so fortunate to live in a community that has so many natural amenities, our river, our beaches, and so much natural talent.
The combination of those things is basically what has brought me here each of these times.
I would say for people who come to Wilmington, you're going to be pleasantly surprised.
There's a variety of things to do in terms of walking tours and trolley tours and horse-drawn carriage tours and film tours and ghost tours, and that that all connects to the rich history of Wilmington, which spans well into the early 18th century.
One of the best places to learn about Wilmington is the Cape Fear Museum. The museum is located downtown on Market Street. Combining exhibits on history, science, and culture, the museum offers a great experience on its own as well as information about the area. Let's hear from Amy Mangus.
I'm Amy Kilgore-Mangus, and I'm the Public Relations Specialist here at Cape Fear Museum. And I think attractions like museums and aquariums are the jewel of this community, and that's why I continue to work in them and help promote them. The mission of Cape Fear Museum is to collect and preserve objects relating to the history, sciences, and cultures of the lower Cape Fear region. We then make those objects available to the public for interpretation through exhibitions and special programming. The earliest Wilmington residents immigrated from Europe and settled into the area, and they found work and used the longleaf pine to create work and create naval stores. The riverfront was critical towards Wilmington's history. It's how our early Europeans came to the area, and it's also how they found work. In that time period, in the colonial period, naval stores operated and they handled a lot of importing and exporting of goods. Cooper set up shop and used a lot of the pine forest to create turpentine, tar, and resin to create shipping containers or crates or barrels to ship throughout. The film exhibit, which just opened, it's called Starring Cape Fear, and we talk about the 30-year film history here in Wilmington, starting with Firestarter, which is the first film done here, and Dino De Laurentiis setting up the first film studio. And visitors will see artifacts, images, and movie clips from a variety of films and TV shows, including Dawson's Creek, One Tree Hill, Eastbound and Down, and some earlier stuff from the 80s like Cat's Eye and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
We also have a great film history here in Wilmington, and people love to come and enjoy and sightsee if you have any kind of relationship with some shows.
I'm Beth Crookham, and I am the producer of Inside OTH, which is a celebration of the TV series One Tree Hill that filmed here for 9 years. All 187 episodes of it were made here in Wilmington. There's a lot of lore around why Dino De Laurentiis originally brought film, what we consider the modern day film industry, to Wilmington, and why he picked here, and a lot of it was the locations. You had this historic downtown with a lot of great assets in terms of its buildings and scapes and the Cape Fear River, but then you also had the beach, and you had the ocean right there, and all of that had to offer. There are businesses in town that have built businesses around that tourism of the film industry. So it's really important to this area. And then the other element that I think it brings that people don't always realize is some of the higher end restaurants, some of the higher end boutiques that cater to the type of workers who come in, the cast and the crew around it, who have a sensibility of bigger cities, and they want that when they're here working. And so there are businesses that we as locals enjoy because of the film industry.
Downtown Wilmington has a wealth of restaurants with a great variety of cuisines. One of the most unique is Betsy's Crepes. The Wilmington location is the second opened by Betsy Markey and her family. The first was located in Southern Pines. It has a unique story and a very unique atmosphere.
Betsy is actually probably the hardest working person I've ever met. She's my mom. She's had probably the most interesting life that anybody's ever had. If you ever did an autobiography, it should be on her. She was a waitress at a restaurant, and the restaurant was closing, and she had no idea what she was going to do with her life. And she had no schooling behind her. She never went to college, anything like that. And I remember the day she would come home, she was crying, like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. And me and my brother took her out to eat at a restaurant, and she said, that's it. That's what I'm going to do. It was a crepe restaurant, and she said, so we're going to go home and try and make crepes. We spent probably the first year, every holiday, every meal that we had, it was not turkey dinners, it was nothing like that. We had crepes. So we tried some very interesting ideas. When we got started, we started in a place about almost the size of this table. Honestly, we were inside of a coffee shop, and we couldn't serve drinks. We couldn't serve anything. We had no tables. It got to where we had lines out the door almost every day of the week. And so then we decided to expand, and we expanded into the one that she's in now. It's in Southern Pines, North Carolina. And it's about half the size of the Wilmington location. We kind of try to make it like a homey atmosphere, so we really feel like we make people feel at home, and the food is great. Everything in here is very eclectic. We did not hire any kind of decorator at all. We didn't even hire a carpenter. Everything that is in here, either I built, my mother designed, or my brother had his part in it too. It's all, one of the three of us had everything to do with this. So our decorating of all placement of everything was all us. So when we created the menu, we actually took out a map, and we basically blindfoldedly picked a bunch of different countries, and we created menu items that fit those countries. So I think it's 48 different crepes on our menu, and 11 of them are desserts, but the rest of them all kind of are based off of a nationality that we all made ourselves, and we spent our first year creating this entire menu. There was actually a few locations we went through the idea of going there, but Wilmington just kind of fit us the best. And there's everything about Wilmington is awesome. I mean, you have like the river walk, and I mean, that's pretty awesome. There's not many towns that have a downtown and a beach at the same time, which Wilmington does. And it also has a place where you can raise your kids, because I have children, so it's like a perfect location for kind of everything we were looking for. It's just kind of cool to be a part of this. Everywhere you walk, there's like historic sites and historic plaques, and you get to read about the thing. Every time I walk to the bank, I get to find some new history about where I'm at.
The great thing when you're shopping in downtown is when you go into these places, and if you have a question, chances are you're talking to the owner of that shop. They bring good insights, good product knowledge, and a great understanding of what they're selling and how it could be used. And so that's a cool thing when you come into any kind of downtown setting with that.
Wilmington, especially the historic downtown area, is well known for its unique and creative vibe. Planet is an independently owned business that celebrates this in everything you see. Meet Patrizia Andriani.
My name is Patrizia Andriani, and I'm from Italy. Planet is a collection of random things, with things from a little bit all over. I have European surplus and then local art. The collection is constantly changing. Right now, I would say I have probably 5 different graphic designers from Wilmington. I carry their t-shirts and their fun designs. I wanted to have a store that was appealing to all, young, old. When I come in here, I like to be visually stimulated. I look at it as an art installation. It's not just about putting the product out, but it's about entertaining the eye, and do it in a way where people don't feel overwhelmed. My store is not the type of place where people come in and spend a few minutes and leave. They spend a huge amount of time in here. They know it's different. Some people say this reminds me of a place in New York or San Francisco, and I just think this is a place where they feel comfortable. I like to be able to find things that people can afford. There's a lot of stuff out there, people have forgotten about it, and I don't like shiny new things. I like things that are old and have energy and soul, and that's what I like. I opened Planet in 2004 when I first moved to Wilmington. Fell in love with the historic downtown. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else but downtown. It reminds me of Italy. It's a small community, it's different. I like to be part of something smaller. I like to connect with my local customers. I love my repetitive customers. Being an old school retailer, grew up in Italy, I really value the sense of community and connecting with the downtown people.
Local fire departments, especially in historic areas, have served their communities faithfully. Started as Wilmington Hook and Ladder in 1867, the City of Wilmington Fire Department continues that service. David Hines is a lifelong resident of Wilmington and is proud of his role with the Wilmington Fire Department.
Battalion Chief David Hines. I'm Administrative Battalion Chief here. Been with the department for 32 years, born and raised in Wilmington. The Wilmington Fire Department is a career-oriented fire department. We have 220 employees, nearly 200 of those are firefighters that ride these fire trucks every day, 24/7. They actually stay here overnight, and we cover the whole city limits from the river on the west to the Intercoastal Waterway on the east, and we have boundaries on north and south, which are the city-county lines. The public is always happy that we're there. We'll be out at lunchtime, and people are always thanking us for our service and very appreciative of what we do. We get very good feedback from the community. The community, you know, always comes out. We built a memorial a couple of years ago at Impey Park for the firefighters that had died in the line of duty and for the 343 firefighters that was lost in New York. And we raised like $260,000, and all of it was from the community. So the community has always been very supportive, where we allow citizens to actually come in and learn about what firefighters do with a lot of hands-on opportunities. So they get an opportunity to get in a hazmat suit, get lowered off of 80, 90-foot tower, learn some hands-on skills about medical and the things that we do medical-wise. It's a very good interaction with them. A lot of children come through the fire department, and we realized, we were all young once, and we realized there's a fascination with these fire trucks and with firefighters. So, you know, we try to take a lot of time with them and get on their level and talk to them and certainly educate them about, you know, if they wanted to be a firefighter or what it takes to be a firefighter, and also just being fire safe. The older ones, we start trying to prepare them if they want to be firefighters and tell them the kind of things that they need to do and staying out of trouble and getting good grades in school and don't start smoking and stay physically fit. Those are all things that are going to be required if you want to be a firefighter in this era that we're in right now. Wilmington is a very historic town. There's so much history downtown. There's old buildings, there's old homes, historic Thayen Hall. The city has preserved a lot of green space. There's parks. Within 10 minutes, there's some of the finest beaches in the world. We have a great downtown area where you can go get a great meal. There's plenty of restaurants. There's craft breweries, 8, 10 craft breweries downtown now. There's theater. You can watch a live play. A lot of great opportunities and a great place to come and visit. It's a great place to live. But if you don't want to live here, certainly it's a great place to visit. Well, it's very special to be like born and raised in a community and then being able to work for it for so many years. Now knowing that I have a job to be able to like protect and serve that same area and the citizens in this area, I'm very grateful. For the most part, the community loves firefighters and we love our community.
Considering Wilmington's location between the river and the ocean, it's a magnet for events and activities. Wilmington Downtown Incorporated is a joint venture with the City of Wilmington, New Hanover County, and the private sector. The goal is to highlight what the area offers to businesses and to the public. Here's Ed Wolverton.
We do a lot of different events and activities throughout downtown all year long. The Downtown Sundown Concert Series, it's a free, family-friendly event that features both local musicians and national, regional touring acts that focus on tribute music.
Downtown Wilmington has so much to offer, you know, in terms of we never get bored. There's always something to do and something going on, and we'll wander down to the farmer's market on Saturday morning and do our shopping, and then turn a corner and there's a festival or there's a concert.
Wilmington's perhaps biggest attraction is our Riverwalk. It has been growing and expanding through the years. It's now almost 2 miles in length, that spans almost from bridge to bridge, from the Cape Fear Memorial Bridge, which is the big one coming over from Leland, and then the Isabel Holmes Bridge, which is to our north. Another thing about Wilmington is that it is very dog friendly. Many of our pubs and bars and breweries do allow and encourage people to bring their dogs into the store, into the pub, and you'll see many places having water bowls out for pets, and it's very common to go into several places and see 2 or 3 dogs just hanging out, chilling with their owners, inside and outside on our sidewalk dining.
Personally, I'm always blown away by the quality of the live theater here in Wilmington. It's appropriate that we be talking here in Thalian Hall, which is just a beautiful venue constructed and finished, completed in 1858. And there's just a very one-of-a-kind space, and I've seen several shows here that just blew me away.
The arts, culture, and indeed everything that makes a city special is foremost in the mind and mission of Rhonda Bellamy. Rhonda is the director of the Arts Council of Wilmington and New Hanover County.
The core functions of the Arts Council of Wilmington and New Hanover County are to support artists and arts organizations and to establish the region as an arts destination, because we have such an embarrassment of riches when it comes to the number of theater companies, the number of galleries, the number of dance companies, just a lot going on. Visitors to downtown Wilmington on the 4th Friday of each month will have an opportunity to visit more than 20 galleries and art spaces that open their doors to the public after hours for a free celebration of art and culture. The newest addition to the Pedestrian Art Public Sculpture collection is a pelican that was done by local sculptor Dume Gorham as a commission from the Front Street Brewery.
Downtown is clearly hopping on the 4th Friday. The work that the Arts Council has done to create the Art Walk every 4th Friday, that's a really good night to be downtown. You want to see people of all ages, families, kids, and all the shops will stay open and they can browse the different art galleries downtown. There's a lot of quality handcrafted art as well as visual art and painting and photography on display.
One of the pieces that gets a lot of traffic is the dog, Straining to Be, which was done by local sculptor Paul Hill. We are so privileged, first of all, to be able to enjoy the depth and breadth of what's offered in this arts community. And for visitors, the same. When they come to Wilmington, they happen upon the arts experience.
The downtown community, of course, is the center of, in my opinion, the arts community in Wilmington. There are so many galleries in such a short space. Again, you can park your car and you can walk to at least a dozen or more galleries. And that's showcased on the 4th Friday. Thanks to the Wilmington Arts Council. They have them stay open late on Friday nights, and people come down and they browse and they walk from one shop to the next and meet the artist oftentimes, and they're able to check out their wares and purchase them if they want.
Can you imagine Wilmington without our galleries, without our theaters, and without our dance companies, and without our symphony, and all of these institutions and individuals, in fact, who make this such a wonderful place to live? The fact that in a community this size, that people feel free to work with everyone. And I just have to say this to get into it. A perfect example is the musical 1776. Okay, who's in it? Shane from Cape Fear Community College, Tony from Thalian Hall, who's producing it, Opera Company, a totally separate company. And so it's just a wonderful thing to see that in a community our size, we come together to make it happen.
You don't have to make elaborate plans to do something. Just get in the car and go.